They react.
Suck my dick, all of you! Alright. It's us or Anaheim, dude. Right. Holy shit! Yeah, you smarky fuck! You better hold back that smile on camera! Holy shit! Dude, they both are smirking like a bunch of... Please. Please.
Here it
Make
comes.
this even more. I don't give a fuck. I want to laugh even more. I want to laugh even more! We're getting caught fucking Bedard! Oh my god! Oh my god! No fucking way! No fucking way! No fucking way! Oh my god! Let's fucking go! We got him! We got him! Oh my god! I gotta run around the house.
Literally had zoomies after that happened. Unbelievable.
Are you fucking kidding me? No fucking way! Batman, you slimy fuck!
We hear me yelling from all the way.
Woo!
Where is that fucking meme?
The meme I made like 7 months ago.
He's fucking big! Oh my god!
Well, that was us reacting to the Chicago Blackhawks getting the first overall pick, which means they'll be able to draft Connor Bedard in roughly a month and a half.
Counting down the days. Oh
holy
my
shit,
gosh.
dude. I still can't believe that happened. What our reactions, you were yelling like fucking crazy, and rightfully so. And like I was celebrating too, but half of me was like, dude, this is not happening right now. Like I was in shock. I was stunned for like half the time. I would be like, yeah, and then I would just like stare at my phone. I'm like, this ain't happening right now. Like this is some kind of simulation. And I'm like, I have to run all the way to the top of my house, run on the top floor, run on the main floor, and then come back down to make it feel real. And it didn't help, but it's kind of starting to settle in now that Connor Bedard is going to be a Chicago Blackhawk, not only for this upcoming year, but for the next 15 to 20 years. And where do we start? I don't know where the fuck to start. Just so much. It's not going to settle in for me until I see him wear 98 on the Hawks jersey and the regular.
Is it 98 or 16? That's the biggest. That's the first question.
I don't know. Like, there's going to be some wrestling with Jujhar Khaira to potentially get 16, but one of those numbers, I would assume 16 or 98.
Oh my gosh, I don't care. I just want to see him put that jersey on, and we're all just gonna be, oh geez, this is. I don't know. I just mentally was not prepared for that.
I was not at all.
I think I checked out of the Bedard race for over a month. After that Pittsburgh game, I checked out. I was just like, all right, I'm going to lose it tonight, get mad, and I'm going to drink my sorrows away and start looking at Will Smith tape. And go look at like Will Smith tape or something. But now, everything's like, I like that. I will say one thing. I like that Davidson was reserved when he was asked, like, does the plan change? Like, you can't obviously say the plan changed.
Yeah.
But internally,
it fucking does though.
Oh, internally, you got to put more talent around him, and like, I got to imagine he's got a couple of like avenues in line to get some talent. Because I'm not saying like, oh, we need to go get 3 elite players to go play with him right now. Like, we need to go get Alex DeBrincat. We need to go trade for or Jesper Bratt, and we need to. I don't fucking know. Go get some other elite forward. No,
we were doing that all on like the live stream, like just doing big.
Oh, but that was like that's the euphoria talking at that point.
Oh, exactly, for sure. But now that we're kind of calmed down and sober now, I feel like we can kind of rationalize it more because, well, Blackhawks fans are fucking ecstatic as they should be, and like outside of Blackhawks fans and people in Chicago and TV executives,
Everyone
everyone else,
TV execs,
yeah, everyone around the league is fucking pissed. And whether that's the train of thought of
they have
this
they have
team,
every reason to be pissed. Like I'm not
Mhm.
gonna deny them of that. Sorry,
No, I'm not gonna be like, I'm gonna be excited that Bedard is a Chicago Blackhawk, but I totally understand every argument, whether that's you go from Patrick Kane and Jonathan Taves with a span of like what 3 months, if that 2 months. Now you got your next franchise player, and just the whole angle of this team, what they did for 10 years, and like a year later, you got the first overall pick when you probably shouldn't even have draft picks this year. I can hear that debate all we want. I think you and I both know that the biggest thing starting this rebuild was fixing the culture with the Blackhawks. And I think Kyle Davidson and Luke Richardson have ultimately done a good job of that. And I think a lot of the debate was, should Connor Bedard even be going to the Blackhawks right now? One, because should they even have that draft pick? And then two, like, why would you want someone playing for the Blackhawks after what happened? And again, I can understand that argument, that debate, but like, where was that when Kevin Korchinski got drafted 7th
None of
overall?
that was
Or
said.
when Frank Nazar got drafted 13th overall. Like, I get the frustration, and it's a huge moment, man. Like, I get people are definitely overreacting in the moment, and they still are. Like, I still don't really know how to process that, but I just feel people we're getting mad for the sake of just dumping on the Blackhawks. Like, if they got the first, if they even got second, are we having the same kind of debate as we are now? Like, if they dropped to 4-5, there's no like, we should have had their first round picks taken away again. Like,
no one brings that up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, no one even fucking brings that up if they drop to 5. And if you say you are going to, you're lying through your teeth, because you would have been bringing it up all year while they were blatantly tanking. You would have brought it up while they traded Patrick Kane. But no, like, this is you want to get it. This is like, I'm not trying to discredit anything. I'm just saying there are a lot of people who are trying to punch up right now, and it's not the time, or like jab at low hanging fruit, which, like, go ahead. I don't know. Like, I can't imagine how, like, the victims feel when you just use their fucking trauma. And like, you know what? Here's my thing. I'm just gonna leave it at this. You can be mad at the organization all you want. Your anger should be more at the NHL. Plain and simple. You could be mad, and also Rocky Wirtz. You could be mad at Rocky Wirtz all you want.
Oh yeah, like,
because like I 100% agree with everyone that said like, they should have sold the team. Yes, I agree.
We still agree with that. Like, we're not
It's not going to happen now, but
yeah, we want that to happen.
But at least like Danny Wirtz and Jamie Faulkner have been like actively trying to fix the culture the last 18 months.
Same with Kyle Davidson and Luke Richardson. Again, that's the number one thing that needed to change with this rebuild. When we had Ben Pope on, we heard them talking about, we can't let the Kyle Beach, like, I don't want to see like, we need to ignore his name. Like, when we're talking about Kyle Beach, it needs to be in the context of how we can better the game of hockey so that young players and people in general don't have to feel this when they're working within an organization like the Chicago Blackhawks. You shouldn't be bringing up his fucking name when Kyle Davidson has his daughter's name written on his hand, one of them that died during pregnancy. That's not the time to bring it up. I just feel a lot of people's anger are justified, but I also feel like some other people were just like, yeah, let's take the time to get like bait or whatever,
Yeah, it's gonna be like that all summer. So
it's gonna be like that forever. People are never gonna forgive the Blackhawks for what they did. And honestly, I understand that. Like, I don't want fucking flowers for being a Blackhawks fan, but like, I'd struggle with finding ways to cheer for this team. But I also, like, we need to recognize what happened in the past, but we also have to move on and make sure that never happens again,
Yeah, like, I got a problem with people are going to glue Bedard to all this, and he has nothing to do with it.
People that are DM him, Paul Lindros, like, get out. You don't have to go. He's 17 years old. Like, the whole thing of,
I just laugh when I see that shit. Sorry, I just laugh when I see that shit. Because, like, give your head a shake for about 5 seconds and think about I'll put it into perspective. I lived in the fucking city for 2 years. You know how much Justin Fields shit was around that city? You know how much money there is to be had in advertisements and sponsorships and testimonials and shit? Connor Bedard's going to be shitting money, just like the kids in Toronto did when they got picked. You really think he's going to pass up on that
already the best
go play? Like the California markets, he'd probably still get that. And, let's get it in Ohio, too. He would get it in Montreal. I don't know, man. He's going to make a lot of fucking money in Chicago. And that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Yeah, you're like the morals are wrong. And from a human being standpoint, yeah, that sucks. But also, he has nothing to do with that. And he's a 17-year-old kid that is about to make generational wealth in one of the best cities to do it in my opinion. Like, in terms of opportunity, is what I'm trying to say. Like, I mean, there's a reason players still live there. You know what I mean? Like,
people still want to.
Kane just bought a massive house still there, and he got traded. Like, I don't know, man. I get their frustration, like you said, but like, I don't know, man. Like, some of it I'll hear, but shit like that, like, I kind of just laugh at. And if I'm a jerk, cool. I don't care. Like, you're a little irrational right now. And it's fine. You can be irrational. Like, everyone has the right to be irrational. Like, I know I am Mr. Irrational. It's just like, I don't know, man. Dunking on a 17-year-old to get your point across seems a little redundant. And
it just feels like we brought this up on the stream. It just feels like there's a lot of holier than thou, you know? And I don't know where else to go with this, but Connor Bedard, this guy, he's not going to pull an Eric Lindros. This guy was a Patrick Kane fan. Like, we've seen pictures of him.
Had the mullet, dude.
We saw the video of him scoring the goal against Slovakia in the quarterfinals to send Canada on the World Juniors, and he did the Patrick Kane celebration. I don't think he's going to pull an Eric Lindros.
And sorry for the rest of the league, but Hawks are going to be mainstream again. Like, they had like maybe even this year where they stunk, they were still on national TV like 12 times. So I was talking to my buddies about this last night. Like, I got to think the Hawks are going to be on national television elite, like at least in the States, like 18, 19 times next year, which is worth it because like this was like the thing you and I have talked about for so many years. Like, yeah, now we kind of we're okay with it now because like McKinnon's really good and like the kids in Dallas are good. So like there's stars in the States, but like up until like 2 years ago, the two biggest stars in the game played in Canada. Like,
we're starting. I feel like ESPN has done a lot better job. Like, there's still so much more to go with how we market the game, especially in the US. Like, Canada, I'll never worry about that. What's the thing with Canada? Like, you can shit on Canadian hockey fans all you want if you're like
but
American.
They'll shit on money.
Like, but like Toronto, what did Steve Dangle say? Like, Toronto and pretty much all the Canadian teams are the reason why the lights are still on. Like, they pay the bills, they pay most of the money.
Yeah. And that's why I think all of us laugh in your face when they lose, because you're losing out. Like, the league is losing out on, like, there's a reason I was like legitimately pissed when the Rangers lost. It wasn't just because I'm a Devils hater, but like the league is going to lose so much fucking money now because of that shit. And I'm sorry, call me a bootlicker for the league all you want. I'm sorry. I just want to see hockey actually continue for 20 years, and I need them to make money. And like, yeah, they're making money, but they need to make more money if they want to become mainstream like they want to.
Yeah, we always say they're lucky to be looped in with the three other.
Barely. They're like the ugly stepchild, dude. Like, it's fucking terrible.
They'd be lucky to maybe be top 10 in North America.
It is what it is. But it's, I don't know, man. It like we can go like I feel like we covered the rational point of view and like why everyone's pissed.
Say this like the rational person to me is like, no, the Blackhawks don't deserve this at all, even if mostly everything has moved on. But the rational fan of me, I'm gonna enjoy the fuck out of being Connor Bedard.
Connor Bedard you wouldn't shut up. You're lying. Like, I'm saying, like, because there's people that are like, well, I wouldn't even be a Hawks fan still. That's a whole nother argument. But like, if your favorite team got Connor Bedard, regardless of what happened, you wouldn't care.
Exactly. Like, I don't want fucking flowers. I'm like, I'm the role model person. Like,
what did I say? Like, this is like Order 66 for the NHL.
Yeah.
Like, I'm cool with being the Empire again. We were for 10 years and won 3 cups. Like, I don't fucking care. Like, everyone can hate us. Like, I fucking love being the heel in wrestling. You know what I mean? Like, just embrace being the heel. But it's just like we, from the human being standpoint, like, we understand. And like, I want to make that clear before we start getting super excited for the next, like, I don't know how long this podcast is
going to be. Like, we're gonna I honestly don't know how long we're gonna do this podcast for. Who fucking knows? Like,
there's so much to talk about now. Like, before it was like,
it's transformed this franchise for
overnight,
all for the better now, because we brought this up already. Like, last year, it was definitely easier than last year. Like, 2021, 2022 was just the worst fucking year. One, because they sucked. Two, most importantly, just everything that was happening off the ice. And coming in this year, you're like, okay, we don't have to deal with that stuff now. But then there's a looming cloud over us that Taves and Kane are going to get traded. And earlier on in the season, you're like, oh, whatever. Like, it's such a long season. It's not going to get to the trade deadline. Like, things will happen soon. And then once we're in, like, that kind of February after the All-Star break, you're like, okay, is anything going to happen here? And kind of like, whenever we talk about the Blackhawks in a huge context like this, like, we always bring up what happened in 2010. And, like, when we saw Kane go, it was incredibly conflicting. Like, it was bittersweet. Like, you enjoy all the memories, but you also realize that you got to move on. And that was the same thing with Jonathan Toews. Like, he was a role model up until all the news came out. Like, he was one of my favorite hockey players, and everyone called him Captain Serious, the ideal leader, and didn't get traded, but he played his last game as a Blackhawk, and I don't see any of those guys coming back. And it was teared all the way down to the studs, all the trades they made at the trade deadline, whether that's trading Domi, whoever the hell else, McCabe and Lafferty.
Trading Jack Johnson.
Who could forget that? They literally acquired the country of England from Colorado.
What a trade. We got a whole country for Jack Johnson. That's crazy.
Like, why aren't – that's why college –
or a city, if you really want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know,
that's
England
right.
Is my city.
It's my city, personally.
Oh, man. But, like –
dude, we're horrible.
No, dude, it's just exciting because, like, now I'm looking at mock drafts and stuff, and, like, I mean, obviously one's locked. So now we start looking at 19 potentially, or 20 if the Leafs come back. But, I mean, let's be honest. By the time this podcast comes out, they might be swept. So
yeah, here's what's gonna happen. We'll talk about it later, but here's what's gonna happen with Leafs. They're either gonna get swept tonight, or they're gonna win 3 in a row and lose in Game 7. That's only.
Oh, you're a mean-spirited individual. I wouldn't even wish that on them. We have lived through a 3-0 comeback and lost in Game 7. That shit is awful. I will never put anyone through that.
Are you telling? But, like, okay, I get them.
It would, from an evil standpoint, it's fucking hilarious. But like, just losing 6 if you're gonna do that. Don't lose in 7. Like, I can respect winning 2 games and then you guys lose when you go back to Florida, but like, if you come back and then lose in Toronto in Game 7,
what was the point? You put all this
through just lose. But also, like, everyone's gonna talk about like trading the big four. Like, just get a fucking actual goalie. Like, go trade for Saros. You idiots. Like, oh my God, we're gonna get a new goalie every year. It'll be fine. And then your goalie's got like a 900 in the playoffs and they wonder why. I don't know, man.
Yeah, Hellebuck.
Dude, yes. Like, just think big. And like, you could trade one of the big four, get Hellebuck and Ehlers probably, and Cook. But that's a whole other point. Anyways, let's talk about
the Leafs.
Fuck that. Let's talk about the Hawks.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how
they are the center of the universe, right? Hockey universe. No matter how badly you don't want to admit it, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Oh man,
the whole year I was like, besides all the trades and happening, like from a draft standpoint, I'm like, yeah, we got the 2 first-round picks. Okay, it'd be nice if, Tampa, they don't like get to the conference finals, and let's say we get a pick in the late 20s. That'd be cool. And then I was expecting, this team is gonna be awful, but I don't think it's gonna be awful enough to where they're gonna get a guaranteed top 3 pick. And kind of, we brought it up earlier with the Pittsburgh loss, kind of in that time where we're like, okay, they're probably gonna, they would have the 3rd best odds. They're probably gonna fall to 5, and then Tampa, there's a good chance they go on another deep run because they're the Tampa Bay Lightning. You can't count them out. Kind of like a few weeks ago, if you told me that they're gonna have the 1st overall pick, but also a top 20 pick, whether that is 19 or 20. Either way, you're set. Like, it's only a 1 pick difference. It's not like 19 and 25 or whatever. Like,
oh no, it's just like, I don't know. It's just fun. Like, and especially with the way this draft is so unpredictable after, I want to say, like 10 or 11.
Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think Mitchkov is going to fall to 19.
Dude, but I've seen Oliver Moore fall that far, which would be, holy smokes.
But
that heartbeat.
They not only have the 2 first-round picks, they have 4 second-round picks and 2 third-round picks. That's where it really comes into play. If Matvei Michkov falls outside the top 10 and you want to get up to like 11, 12, or 13, you can package pick 19 or 20 with your 35, and I bet that could get the job done. And you can get a really good talent, and also Connor Bedard, that fella.
Yeah. But like, even if like a guy like Benson falls out of the top 10, or like, You know what I mean? Like if Barlow's sitting there at like 15 and you want him, like just go move up and get him. Like
This is the absolute best case scenario because this draft is forward heavy. Like there's a couple good defensemen that we're kind of talking about this on the live stream with Ben. It's like, oh, what if we want to get another defenseman? And like if someone like Reinbacher or Sandin Pellikka falls to 19, which is not gonna happen, specifically Reinbacher. But like
Reinbacher's gonna be a top 10.
I don't think oh my phone is going off. That was weird. All right. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell? Just some random person is, let's keep that in. But I don't think they'd trade up to get a defenseman. Like if you're gonna trade up into the early teens, it's for a forward.
Get another big elite for not elite, but just high end for a prospect for the pool. Because like I honestly think you can get a pretty good D-man at 35 if you really want one. Like I think there's a world where like I think his name's Herbeck from Slovakia, I think.
Maxim
like
Strabek, I think.
Strabek, not Herbeck. I'm thinking Hrabel, the goalie. I get their names mixed up.
They could get him too. Like
there's so many options with those seconds that they can go get. Like I mean, he's probably not going to fall, but like Dragicevic, if he probably could be there at 19, that could be a guy that could look at.
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to go as high, but like I could see a thing like Kevin Korchinski, like just looking at his size and like just his physical
points.
Like, guy could take him in the top 10, top 15.
I mean, fuck yeah. Defensemen go so high. They're so unpredictable. And this is going to be like a 2019 year where besides like there's no Byram in this class, but like, I mean, obviously we didn't know Sider was going to be that good, but like, I'm just thinking of how many D-men went earlier than we expected in that class.
It's always a thing, and that plays to the Blackhawks' favor. Like you're getting Connor Bedard, but it really starts at 3 because Fantilli's going to Anaheim.
Fantilli doesn't go to Anaheim. I'm gonna give your head a shake, Pat Verbeek. Yeah. Jesus.
No, he has to go. It's too perfect. Like you have centers with Fantilli, Zegras, and Matavish. You can put Zegras on it just gives you loaded forward core up front, and we're
still got Terry.
It's like we have so much to look forward to. Like there's a good chance down in the future we're gonna see more Chicago, Anaheim, and Chicago, LA conference finals or playoff matchups.
I mean, San Jose is gonna get a good player at 5, and I got to imagine an Erik Karlsson trade's got to be cooking somewhere. They're gonna start loading up too. Like I don't know. Like now everything's locked in. Like everyone's gonna get a pretty good player in the top 5. Mm-hmm. It's just like I'm higher on some than others, and that's always my concern. And like I've seen stuff that like Will Smith might go 3. I don't know about that. I'd take Leo Carlson over him, but that's just me.
Yeah. And I think that's the big thing. Like, what does Columbus do at 3? I don't think they're going Michkov because Michkov is clearly the biggest wild card of that first round because he could really go top 3. Whether Columbus wants to take him or not, but like if another team was there, another team could have potentially taken him. I feel like it is Carlson, Michkov, and Smith kind of then and then next year to round up the top 5. But then after that, you can really go anywhere if you're
I've seen Ryan Leonard even go top 5. Like it's that US development program, they came on really big late, like that line of him, Perreault, and Smith.
Yeah.
So they'll get a lot of attention. Like you said, Reinbacher's probably going top 10. Like they're already mocking him to Arizona, which like,
ooh,
go ahead. I want to laugh, but like, don't they have 2 firsts? So like, just get a defenseman with like pick 14 or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Go get like Sandin Pellikka or something. But like I've seen Barlow get mocked all over the place. I've seen Moore get mocked all over the place. When I saw a top 16 mock draft, didn't even have Crystal. So
that's my dream right there. If Crystal, I saw a picture of Andrew Crystal and Connor Bedard playing together like as young teammates. I'm like, it's too perfect. You got to draft him with people, or even just trade up and get him. I don't care. Like I love him so much.
Yeah, there's just so many names, and then like if they want to go, like the Hawks could get cheeky and say like, oh well, we're just gonna go for a specific type of forward. Like they can go get like Musty or someone now because they're gonna have a number 1 centerman. They don't have to go specifically draft a center. But like I'm also not gonna deny like if a Nate Danielson's there at 19, like yeah, I'm cool with them taking a swing on him. Like yeah,
Danielson and Bedard as your 1-2 punch at center. Like I don't know if
you can move Nazar to wing. Like
yeah,
be perfect. Like they have like the opportunities are endless with these picks now because before it was like. All right, well, let's see who we like out of like Michkov and Carlson and all them, and then they'll go from there. Now it's like you got your face. Now we got to build around him. And it's like, what players do you think, or like what players do we think complement Bedard's game the best? And that's
And
what
they have a couple guys. Like I feel when we're talking Bedard playing, he's going to be in the NHL next year. He's going to sell when his jersey comes out as a Blackhawk. Like we've already seen this ticket sales the Blackhawks have gotten.
you can't order his jersey right now,
No.
like online. They're like, we won't allow it. Like we're so back ordered. So
that they also don't even know what his jersey number is. So
yeah, but people don't care. Like they'll just
they'll get the Bedard. Yeah, they don't give a fuck about that.
Oh, that's the only reason I'm waiting, because like I don't want to get 98 and then he wears 16, or like he's like, I'm wearing 12. It's like, what? Okay. I'm wearing 99. Fuck Gretzky. Let's go.
Yeah, he's just that good. We're on retired number just for Bedard.
But man, like so now we could, I guess, talk about like, I guess, moves to get some talent around Bedard.
Yeah, we can talk about the draft for a while. Like that's what we're be talking about now, heading up until late June for the next month and a half. We'll have guys on to talk about, like who could they target with the second first round pick. If they maybe even move into the first round, get a third first
35,
round,
which is a great pick to be at. Like they're gonna have options.
Like, they have so many options, and that's when we've been preaching this whole year: acquiring assets that allows you to do stuff like that. And they're not gonna make all those draft picks. Like, kind of moving on to our next segment, they can move maybe one of those second round picks to get not a superstar, but potentially a forward that could help for next year, because I think that should be the big focus on. Again, we talked about a lot of this on the live stream, but I think the big focus for next year is getting just decent players to play with Connor Bedard, so that he's not playing with Reese Johnson and Jake Garcia on his first line.
So I got a good jump off point for this to start, because I think Neil's brought it up in the chat. Vancouver's already over the salary cap for next season.
Oh yeah, I saw that thing from Cam Robinson. I feel like Chicago and Vancouver could do another thing where they take on a bad contract and get maybe even a sweetener in it.
Dude, Garland for 3 more years, and then like we take Höglander too. I don't know. Like that sounds like a fair deal on both sides. Like I don't know who they're cool with giving up. That's my thing. Yeah. So like
I saw
they
Garland
just signed Mikheyev. I'd take Ilya Mikheyev. That I wouldn't be against that. It's just,
especially if you're getting a sweetener.
I mean, I'd take Brock Besser, but I don't think they're gonna give it. I don't think we have the capital to make a Brock Besser trade work, because they want that to be a hockey trade.
Yeah,
I'm thinking this one specifically a cap dump.
Yeah, where you're either getting, like, if you're taking on McCabe, I feel you're probably getting a sweetener, like maybe a second round pick or something. I don't know. Like, I don't know what Vancouver's draft situation is like. I know they have the 11th.
We have the second next year.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they have no seconds the next 2 years. No wonder the fucking price is high, because you don't have any seconds to trade.
Also, like, and again, I saw a lot of every fan was pissed off about the Blackhawks winning, but it was funny seeing the Canucks fan in general just be like, if we just lost 4 games, like, we would have been in the conversation. And maybe the funniest part is like, we didn't actually see the drawing, like, of the lottery balls happening. Like, there were a couple of close teams. Like, I think, what was the number combination for the Blackhawks? It was like 4, 5, 9, 13 or something. I forget what it was.
Vancouver was like 12. So like,
it was like 5, 9, 4, 5, 9, 12. And then I think there was another team that was like really close. I think it was Montreal. Which would have been interesting, but
God, they don't deserve that. Jesus, they would literally take Albert Dvorsky first overall.
They're gonna do that anyways at number 5. I think. Like,
nasty franchise.
I hate piling on Slavkovsky because he didn't pick himself first overall. They still should have gone Cooley or even Wright, but what a change in talent. Last year, Slavkovsky went first overall. Now it's Connor Bedard.
Yeah, it's like there's just levels.
It's night and day. Shit. It's night and day. Like, you're getting a potential like elite winger, but this is I don't know, man. Like, I've been thinking, do you think Connor Bedard's a generational talent? I think he's borderline, because when I think
I'm going to let him speak for himself. I think he's at least Austin Matthews levels of good, which is fucking good enough for me, if I'm being honest. Like, if this guy is even, like, someone said, like, oh, well, his foot speed might not be good, and, like, worst case scenario, he could be like John Tavares. And I'm like, oh, worst case scenario, he's point a game. Like, cool. Like, guys, like I think Lazarus dropped the fucking article where he's like, I think fans need to temper their expectations on Connor Bedard. And it's just like, buddy, No one's saying he's
I
coming
don't
into
think
the
I've
league.
seen anyone be like egregious with like, oh, Bedard's gonna get 50 and 50 next year. Like I think
No, like I've seen
guys have
some
been
I've
pretty
seen some
realistic.
people say like, oh, like he could get 70 maybe. And I'm like, yeah, I can see that, but like
Mhm.
I don't know, 50 points isn't out of the picture next year, especially
Oh, if
with like
he's getting
the
50
half
points,
like
if he
his
stays
supporting.
healthy. Yeah.
And like I saw someone say like, oh well, Bedard can't fucking win. You saw it in Regina. I'm like, he dragged a terrible
Dude,
team to the playoffs.
he almost dragged that team into the first round. He dragged Team Canada to a gold medal championship. I don't want to hear like this
He's
guy's
been used to
accomplished
carrying the load. Let's just put it that way.
this guy's accomplished everything you can as a 17-year-old hockey player. Like
And that's why like it's not even just putting we that's why I really think we should like I hope Davidson's still taking the approach of like just get a bunch of young guys, get guys who are fast and can play two-way, like just the Kraken approach almost. Just get a bunch of good players around. Like not great players, but just like solid fucking players around Bedard.
guys that skate, work their ass off, and can contribute offensively. And how we talked about it on the live stream. Like they could bring in a guy from Seattle potentially in a cap trade.
And like I look at a team like the Islanders. Like I know they want to move Josh Bailey. Okay, cool. We'll take 2 seconds to take him, or a second and a third, and then
You're first unprotected next year. Let's go.
Oh, I like your thinking. Or like get Kyle Palmieri even. Like he's got 2 more years at $5 million. Bailey's got 1 more year at $5 million. Like there's options out there, and like I know, like people probably listen to this and go like, "Wow, you want to put Connor Bedard with Josh Bailey?" And it's like, no, it's not that. It's just this team is not in any position to compete. They shouldn't try to compete this year, and I don't want him playing with plumbers per se, but I also don't want them overpaying for mediocre talent.
Yeah.
So I'd rather take on extra picks just to get because Bailey's like, let me go look at Josh Bailey's stat line before I, say something that's not
Make
true.
any bold proclamations.
Exactly. Let's see. He had 25 points in 64 games last year. So in theory, if he gets like 30 points on this team, that's fine.
If he's like a point per game.
Yeah.
And he'll be healthy the full year.
Yeah. And if he's not, whatever, we'll get a pick for him. Like, that's why I like the Vancouver option a little more because, like, I think Connor Garland can be a legit top 6 contributor on this team. He's just like falling out of love in Vancouver. I don't even understand that situation.
Vancouver. I don't know what the hell's going on over there, but if we can get a good player for them, go at it like that. If you're Kyle Davidson right now, like, yeah, you bringing in Josh Bailey. I feel that's more like bringing a guy in kind of as like a locker room presence to help with Connor Bedard and
Milan Lucic.
Yeah, we're. I think one of the questions in Twitter is like, do we get like an agitator, grinder, whatever for enforcer for Bedard on the team? And I think they're gonna do that. Maybe not Milan Lucic. I mean, Milan Lucic would be cool, but I feel like they're gonna get that kind of guy. But if you take on Josh Bailey and get 2 second-round picks, like you're getting the draft picks, and we've brought up with the draft picks, you're not always going to make the draft picks. Like you can use that as currency to get other players. Like there's a good chance they don't even make all the draft picks with the second round picks they have this year. They could trade them. Like we saw the Devils trade for Vanacek. Not saying that they're going to trade for a goalie, but like they acquired a guy, RFA, kind of in his mid to late 20s, like that could help out the team. So I think that's what Kyle Davidson should be doing. And I feel like a lot of teams are going to be coming to Kyle Davidson with, take my contract, here's a draft pick, all that stuff. I feel a lot of it is Kyle Davidson just sitting back and waiting and teams coming to him as opposed to kind of initiating the trade. I think the big talk is they're not going to go for it this year, but when we see the free agency classes in the upcoming years and more contracts coming up the books, I think that's when the Blackhawks will kind of start more going after and initiating things as opposed to rebuilding and kind of staying more patient.
I think next offseason is the offseason where they're going to start spending some actual, like, legit money. Like, I think this offseason, like, I think we talked about it, like, it's mainly getting to the floor is my concern. While still having legitimate, like, I think we talked about it. Like, I'm still very open if Max Domi would be down to come back.
If you're Max, like I know he's playing with Dallas right now, but
he's playing with Pavelski right now, having a blast. But like, he had a great game.
He's eliminated. Are you telling me that it's not on his mind that I get to go back to Chicago, maybe get a multi-year contract, be with Luke,
like $5 million a year, go play with Bedard? Like, sounds pretty good. And then like, I mean, Athanasiou, like if the market's not there for him, I think they already said they'd be willing to bring him back. Like that's a
Bring him
fine
back.
player.
I don't care. Bring Athanasiou
Yeah,
back.
it's a fine
We need to
player.
build a statue for him because if he didn't score that goal against Philly,
Oh my
we
god,
would-
it's
we
like the
wouldn't have won
oh my
the
god, it's
lottery.
like the Patrick Steffen empty net miss
Mhm.
for Patrick Kane. Oh my god. By the way,
And
I'm
Florida
sorry.
won't be in the playoffs. Like
I need to say this now just because I read it and it's just baffling. This is like a Rangers page talking about like what they're like what they've heard the last week, right?
Mhm.
So first off, Rangers would want, quote unquote, want to trade Panarin if right trade is there for all parties. New York Rangers will listen on Lafreniere, Hedl, and Kakko. Pretty sure they just fucking extended Hedl, but whatever. Go for it.
We've always, I think we've talked about Lafreniere and Kakko a lot. I love Hedl.
I don't want Lafreniere anymore because the next one, New York Rangers value Lafreniere similar to the value of the 3rd to 8th overall pick in this year's draft.
So
Montreal is so trading 5 for him. Oh my god. Oh my god.
So they're doing. I was gonna say like that. They kind of want like what Kirby Dot got, but Montreal did that last year too. Now, oh my god, they're gonna trade the 5th overall pick for Lafreniere.
Or they flip another fraud, get another first, and then do it like they did last year. Oh, dude, that's just nasty business right there. Oh.
That's the thing about the draft. It's so fucking chaotic. Like we know Bedard is locked in at 1, and Fantilli's probably gonna go 2. I don't know what the fuck's gonna go happen after that. I know what I think should happen, but what actually is gonna happen is so much different.
Oh man, I'm not too worried about it. I think the one thing that before we got Bedard, I'd like talked myself into at least is Davidson's got an eye for talent. There's no doubt in that with the way he drafted, the guys he signed in a year where he was trying to stink. I need to preface this coming from a GM who thought, or the previous GM where he thought, oh, we're going to compete. Let's go get Brandon Manning.
And Chris,
this guy wanted to suck and get Matt Stillman. Like, I can't wait to see what he wants to do when we get good. Like, I know he's not a free agent this year, but like there's guys in 2 years where like I am so willing to throw money at. Like Jake DeBrusk, Tom Wilson. Like there are gonna be players. Just gotta be patient. And like I think best case scenario, Hawks maybe better than 3rd last this year, I think. I think Bedard's gonna at least get a couple more wins.
It is so hard to get win differentials, like make significant jumps. Blackhawks had what
27, 26,
less than 30. I think they can get over 30 next year. Like 32, 33 wins, you know.
Oh yeah, and
then maybe after and then maybe the year after that, that's when you start maybe flirting with a playoff spot and like getting close to 40 wins because you're gonna have Bedard's gonna be a year older. Frank Nazar's probably gonna be on the team. Like Korchinski's gonna be on the team as well. Like all these young players are going to take steps, and they're still going to have a couple guys like Murphy and Jones are still going to be there. Like I think, and if Soderblom, who got extended today, if he takes that next step, like that's a team that can at least compete for a wild card spot. And
because they were competing with the dog water roster, so I don't know.
That's the big thing with me, Luke Richardson. I think he can get guys playing above like their actual talent level.
Oh man, this is gonna be very interesting next year because like I'm almost looking at it how the Bears were this year. You know what I mean? Because it's like the Bears had Fields, but they had nothing else. It's like it's the Ferrari in the trailer park garage. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what the Hawks are right now.
Yeah.
And like I remember going into that year and I was like, all right, well, in theory, best case scenario, they stink and Fields looks good and we know he's the guy, and then we have a top whatever pick to work with. That exact thing happened almost. Verbatim, they got 1st overall by luck almost, and Fields looks like he's the guy. So they were capable of trading down and getting more assets. In the Hawks case, if they're not that great and Bedard fucking lights it up, let's say he gets 65 points his rookie year, which I think would be fucking incredible with this team. Like I think that would be like the ceiling for me right now.
Yeah, 65, 70 points. I think he gets like 55 points.
It's just because there's not a lot of help around him right now. Like unless Reichel takes like a massive step, which he could, but like I'm not.
I feel that's kind of the thing. Like it's kind of penciled in now that Reichel's going to play with Bedard because that's probably the most skilled forward on the team after him.
Oh yeah, I gotta think the line right now is just him with Radish and Reichel, or like Athanasiou and Reichel, or
Kurashev
and
Johnson
Reichel.
Throw in there. I don't know.
Or I think but they like putting Johnson at or like I don't know. Yeah, they do like playing on the wing, so like that would be interesting. Oh man, they got options, and it's a good spot to be in. Let's just put it that way. Because like, if they're good, that's great. Like you're building a winning culture.
It's house money right now.
Yeah, it's house money. But if
Even
you
more
stink,
so than before. Like,
yeah, if you stink, I'm not going to complain about adding a Cole Eiserman to the system or something. You know what I
we
mean?
got draft Macklin celebrating. They're not getting first overall next
No,
year.
they're not getting first overall ever again. So I'm saying like you can go get like him, you can go get like a Berkeley Catan, you can go get like a Tanner Howard. Fuck, go get his old teammate next year. Go get Tanner Howe next year. Like,
oh, I didn't even think of that.
Dude, they got options. Like, it's a good spot to be in. It's a very good spot to be in. And who knows? Maybe Tampa sucks next year.
Dude, maybe Toronto just blows it the fuck up, and their first
Joe
round pick.
Matthews.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Kyle Davidson master plan. Like we beat the Penguins so we could get the first overall pick, and also that Florida could get to the playoffs.
That is like the
Florida.
craziest. Like, what if they don't? Like, oh my god, Panthers would be in. Oh, who would be in then? Like Pittsburgh or
yeah. Florida won a round by the grace of God against the best team in regular season history, so that there's a chance that they could move from 20 to 19. He made Toronto good enough with McCabe and Lafferty so they could beat Tampa, lower that first round pick. And now Florida and Toronto are playing in the second round, but Florida might sweep them. And if Florida goes on, they'll have the 19th pick. But if Toronto loses, they get swept out. They might lose Dubas. They might lose Matthews. Like, not saying it's going to happen, but like, everything's kind of falling into place. Like, it's the master. It's Order 66.
It is, dude. Everything is like Kyle Davidson is literally the emperor just sitting there right now. Like everything is going as foreseen. Oh man, like it's. I don't even know what to say anymore, man. I'm just happy. Like it's.
Dude,
it's
I'm
like
totally
a
happy.
massive.
Like that night, it was. That night I went through a whirlwind of emotions because at first I didn't know how the fuck to react. I'm like, dude, we got Bedard, and then after I'm like, just seeing all this shit on the timeline, you can't help but be like, oh fuck. But like the next day, I like relaxed. I'm like, okay, and now today I'm like, fuck yeah, Connor Bedard. And it still hasn't set in. It really hasn't.
I've been fuck yeah the whole time, dude. Like it's just like because like I think I've been on the record multiple times. Like if we got number one, I was gonna fucking not rub it in everyone's face, but I'm gonna laugh a lot. Like it's just like. Like you could watch the whole live reaction when we're going down the lottery. Like I was just happy we didn't fucking fall down. Like I was cool with staying at 3 at that point. And then we got 2. I was cool with staying at 2. Like I think you were like, I've foreseen the fucking the draft lottery balls. It's 2 and 19 for Chicago.
Yeah. I really didn't think they were gonna stay like regardless of what happened, I thought they were gonna move down or move up. I don't think they were gonna stay at 3. And lo and behold, they moved up. Not only moved up 1, they moved up 2.
Good stuff. Also, it continues the 4-year anniversary of the third worst team moving up to number 1. They happened for McDavid, happened for Jack Hughes. Both players turned out pretty good.
Like Connor McDavid is probably best case scenario for Connor Bedard. Jack Hughes might be worst case scenario for Connor Bedard. I think that's pretty good.
Oh no! So you're telling me it's gonna take him like 2 years to become like fucking elite? Word. Okay. Well,
oh no, we'll just have to sign him to an 8x8.
Oh, we'll just have to get him on a team-friendly contract now. Oh no! I mean, like, see, but this is like now I kind of get why Davidson was like, yeah, we need to like clear money because like, oh man, his next contract, this kid, if he even lives up to the hype, we're talking 8-digit deal per year minimum.
Oh, at least, yeah.
Like.
He's minimum getting that McDavid contract out of his ELC because he's gonna be that good, and hopefully the cap goes up. And Bedard being on the Blackhawks will help the cap go up.
Dude, this league's gonna make so much fucking money. Oh my god! Like we talked about it. Like I think we joked about it. Like the most like financial like good one for them would have been like us and Philly.
Mm-hmm.
They got one of them.
Philly would have been cool, but John Tortorella handling Connor Bedard, that's another matter.
I'm glad we got Bedard with Richardson and not Bedard with Torts.
Yeah.
Like, but like think about like what Richardson was even doing with Caulfield in the playoffs a couple years ago. Like, oh god, I am.
We're in good hands. We're in good
excited.
hands.
I'm excited. There's no other way to put it. Like, it's just, oh man.
We're sorry, Kyle Davidson. That didn't sound serial at all.
That didn't sound serial. That fucking clip is so accurate, though. Why, you pins?
Oh, we got a straggler here, do we?
Kyle Davidson trying to clear out the whole last regime. Oh, we got a straggler here, do we?
Because all I was thinking with like Kyle, because we ripped on him a couple. I don't rip on him.
Oh, I gave him a solid ripping after the end of the year. I was like, all right, we did it. You burned every fucking bridge to get here. Let's see what happens. You dodged a fucking bullet.
Like, now.
Yeah, like,
y'all didn't want to take me cereal. That's all I can think of. We're sorry, Kyle Davidson. That didn't sound serial at all.
That didn't sound serial at all. Oh, dude, I love one of the dudes I follow. He literally just posts like Connor Bedard in it. So that's the only way he replies to shit now. It's fucking great.
Actually, I don't care about hockey, and the BedardHawks just post a video of Connor Bedard dangling everyone.
Oh, dude, it's my favorite because like some dude will be talking about the White Sox and he's just like, "Who gives a fuck about baseball?" And then drops a fucking Bedard at it. Or like the Cubs lose, and I see a Cubs fan just be like, "Gives a fuck, hockey's back." But also, I saw like this just tells you how like there's a certain side of Chicago that just like. They gave a fuck about hockey, but like there's levels to this shit because they're like, oh, I trade Bedard for Wembanyama, and I'm like, nope, sorry, not happening. Like, don't give a fuck about the Bulls. Do not give a remote fuck about the Bulls. Like, no.
And we saw, I think it was at, I don't know if it was Wrigley Field or where the White Sox play on the
guaranteed rate.
Yeah, it was. I was just like, congratulations for the Chicago Blackhawks for winning the first overall pick. No, I think it was at Wrigley Field.
Oh, that was Wrigley.
And then the White Sox were playing in fucking Kansas City, but White Sox fans were like applauding when they found out and like hugging each other. Like, that's so cool. And then even the Blackhawks account was like, that's what you love to see.
Oh,
bring us all together, the evil empire again. Let's go. Oh, Kyle Davidson,
dude. It literally are like the fucking Yankees of hockey, and like in a good way, like when the Yankees were winning, type thing. Because like, dude, holy shit! Actually, I don't know. Oh, my favorite now is Boston fans being like, "I haven't seen a chip since the Obama administration." Like, I don't care. And it's all it said like Chicago fans are spoiled, and I'm just like. All right, man. Sure. I got to see a World Series when I was 7 years old. I got to see the Cubs, which, yeah, I fucking love. And, like, one of them's fucking tainted. And, like, the other two have an asterisk on them now. So that's nice. And then I've never seen the fucking Bears win. And I've never seen the fucking Bulls win. So suck it. Like, I don't care. Like,
I remember I was talking to our good friend Rose. I was like, this was kind of the point where I was like, I was just done with the Blackhawks. I'm like, I was glad the season was over. I'm like, I'd rather see a Blue Jays World Series over get the Blackhawks getting Connor Bedard first overall. Well, shit, might have both now. Can I have my cake and eat it too?
The lady from the taco shell commercial. Why not both?
Exactly.
Oh man. Like everything changes. Like I can't stress it.
We brought this up like in the context before we drafted him, like whichever team got him, like it's the Blackhawks now, but like any other team that got him, that he's transformed that franchise regardless of how good they are now, because he's just that good of a player. Teams in the WHL, like the whole Saddle Dome Arena in Calgary sold out when Connor Bedard was playing there, and when he was playing at the World Juniors. So would other places around the WHL. Like this guy has done everything he can as a hockey player at 17 years old. He's a household. He's more than a household name, and now he's going to be one of the best players for the next 15 to 20 years. And he's ours. Dude,
what was that clip a couple months ago where like Kaylor Yamamoto's in warm-ups and he's like talking to his buddy. He's like, "Look at me, Bedard," and fucking snipes one top shelf. Like the fucking NHL players are pretending to be him right now. Come on, dude. Ugh. And like one thing that I'm not even gonna have to worry one bit about with him is this guy is so competitively driven. Like any of his quotes you hear from him, oh my god, it's amazing. Like
the thing is, he's the most prototypical hockey player when you interview him. but I feel he's also a guy that can have fun and will enjoy the spotlight in Chicago. Like he's gonna be the perfect guy for the Blackhawks. Like we haven't even drafted him yet. He's already the best player in the organization. We said this. The Blackhawks are gonna have the number one prospect pool by default when he gets on that team. And then probably by the end of his contract, he'll be the face of Chicago sports and probably the best player. No disrespect to Justin.
He's number 2 right now with Justin Fields. And like, no offense to Fields, but like, there's just levels to this shit, dude. This would have been like love Fields, don't get me wrong. But like Trevor Lawrence was the guy getting the Bedard comparisons in terms of like football. Like, it's just fucking unreal, dude.
Yeah, I'll like look at a picture of him or like a highlight of him and just feel like he's ours.
He's gonna play.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna play in the red and black in the UC. And we're gonna hear Chelsea Dagger, and everyone's gonna be at the games again, and it's gonna be
wearing his jersey, and then his jersey is gonna get retired. He's gonna be that good.
Oh, he's gonna be right there next to Hossa and them. It's gonna be great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be so much fun. It's gonna be so much fun, and I'm curious to see because we saw it with Tavares, we saw it with McDavid, we've seen it with Crosby. Like, there's always a player that when you're that good, you're gonna elevate other players around you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious as to McDavid made Maroon a 30-goal scorer. Like, Crosby made Konitz an Olympian. Like,
gold medalist at that.
if you get to play Tavares made everyone else around him 20 points better. Like, when he left, all the points on the Islanders dropped by 15 to 20 points. Dude, I don't even know. Like, oh my God, I just have a hard time. I'm trying to temper expectations every time, but I'm thinking of just what these quote unquote look what Matthews did his first year. Granted, they had a lot of talent come up, but he came into the league and had 40 goals as an 18-year-old.
The possibilities are really endless.
And you know what? We'll temper our expectations even more. Fucking Nico Hischier came in and got 50 points his rookie year. I'd be so happy if someone got 50 points this year.
I think Bedard can get 50.
I think so too. I'm just because there's that crowd that's like, well, the talent around him's not that good. You're gonna have to temper your expectations. Fine, I'll temper my expectations. There you go. Fuck, dude, it's just really hard to temper them when every major scouting department, every major news department, anyone who has covered the sport for more than 30 years, it's just him, McDavid, and Crosby. That's all they've said. I've seen places call him underrated, for God's sake. He was almost 3 points a game this year in junior.
He was a 70-goal scorer.
And he got 70 more assists than goals. What the fuck? Oh my God.
And he had 28 points in 7 games. We almost dragged his team past.
And he throws the body around. It seems like he can win faceoffs. Fuck.
Yeah,
dude.
and he had I think 24 points in 7 games with Canada. This guy just produced this. This is why he's going first overall.
He's a point machine, dude. We need one.
And not only that, but he's just he worked his fucking ass off. There's a reason he's number 1 overall. Not only does he have the skill, he has the determination. He's gonna be we can debate on whether they're gonna be the captain too, or alternates. He's gonna be the captain by his new contract.
It was gonna be Jones, but no, it's him now. There's no way. You give 3 A's this year. Bedard gets the captaincy at 19, like Taves did, and McDavid and all of them. I think that's what happens. It's his team, dude. I mean, he kind of knew that anywhere he went.
Yeah.
But there was always that thing the Hawks could keep Taves and Kane. Dude, they're not. It's your team now. Wow. Just what a way to start a new era of hockey. Holy smokes.
It's really endless and limitless possibilities. I don't know, because there's still a month and a half till the draft. They could do stuff before then. I don't know what to expect. In a good way, I don't know what to expect because there are so many ways they can go, and I feel it's positive ways you can go.
Yeah, I mean,
use their draft picks to make trades. Looking at free agency, a guy I would love to see them target would be Tyler Bertuzzi. I just feel like he would fit perfectly in Chicago. He could play with Bedard.
Fans would love him. Oh man.
Yeah, like Reichel, Bedard, and Bertuzzi as a first line. Like, yeah, Bertuzzi just be the grind and muck guy, go in front of the net, digging out pucks, all that shit, and just let Reichel and Bedard do the best, and he'll get his points. And Chicago's going to be like, I feel the Blackhawks are going to be a destinable place no matter what. Like, people are going to want to play in Chicago because it's Chicago.
You can pay them though. That's the big thing.
Well, you can pay them though, and they'll be loved here, and you get to play with Connor Bedard.
Like, it's gonna be one of the hottest tests. Like, I don't like spitting chicklets, but Whitney put it best, dude. Like, it's gonna be a free agent hotspot. Think about it. If you want to make any amount of good money right now, Chicago can give it to you,
dude. Even if
they
it's
have
like
40 million cap.
Yeah.
And like, as long as they don't get like, you just can't get right up against the ceiling. Like, if they're sitting at like 20, 15 mil left, that's fine. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You're under the cap. You spent money to get talent around them. You're good.
Yeah, you can't spend all 41.5 million, whatever they have in free agency.
Yeah.
Like, they're gonna have to re-sign players, obviously. I think they're gonna make a couple trades and then sign a few guys in free agency.
Yeah, and I mean, like, we don't know what RFAs are gonna be available. Like, some guys might not get qualified. It's that whole thing too. Am I echoing, by the way?
I think you're good.
Okay.
I'll hear you echo.
But yeah, no, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. And like, they're gonna load the cupboard up again this year. Like you said, forward heavy class. Like, our prospect pool is going to be very nice, even with Bedard already up in the big boy league.
No, they're gonna be number one prospect pool, and then they won't after next year because Bedard will be in the NHL already.
But it'll be nice to have that one list where it says it,
Yeah,
or at least says like we're top 3 or something. Because like, fuck, we needed to catch up with the rest of our division. Like,
I feel like. Yeah, what was the thing? Like, everyone in the Central has goalies, you know.
Let's just get the best goal scorer.
Let's just get the best goal scorer to help remedy that for sure. Absolutely.
Because like, it's Ottinger, it's Hellebuyck, it's Askarov, it's not Jordan Bennington.
Saros, like Nashville.
Yeah, Saros. I just think Saros is gonna get traded in my head canon. He's getting traded. And then like Wallstedt's coming up. Gustafson had like a 930 in Minnesota.
I saw the Blackhawks. I think it was Elliot Freeman or like 32 Thoughts. They were like, oh, maybe the Blackhawks look at Gustafson. I would. Fuck, who cares?
I'm here for that.
You at least gotta do your due diligence.
100%. Like, we could give him a bigger contract than Minnesota could. That's for sure. Because they have all that dead cap still.
That's right.
Oh man.
And like, I look at the Central right now. Like, I'm not saying like they're gonna be a cup contender within like a few. Like, it's still gonna take a lot, even with Bedard. But just looking at the state of the Central right now, like how Colorado lost in the first, like every Central team, I'm pretty sure lost in the first round, except for Dallas. Dallas is the team I look at. You have Ottinger, you have Heiskanen, and then you still have forwards coming up. Like, you have Hintz and Robertson, and then you're gonna have Stanko and Collin. Like, Dallas is a team I look at, but like Colorado, they're still going to be a good contender, but I don't know about St. Louis, like Minnesota. Like, not that they're bad or going to be bad, but like they're not legitimate cup contenders or anything the Blackhawks should fear in a few years, I think.
Here's my thing. Nothing can hurt me, but the only thing that can get close to hurting me right now is if St. Louis flips some of these firsts and go get the Brinket. That's going to hurt me because they have 3 firsts right now that they can deploy and go get someone, because St. Louis has been known to not, like, they're going to be active regardless.
Oh, yeah. Like, I feel last year was kind of a one-off. They have too much talent. If they just get a damn decent goalie, they'll be fine.
They don't start slow either. That'll help, because I swear Kyron Thomas did not play well until December this year. They still finished fine, like point totals, but it's just you'd want more out of your best guys. I don't know. Like, we'll be fine. And then Arizona's going to have a nice young core in a couple years. They're going to get another player this year. Hopefully it's not a defenseman.
Well, for their sake, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, for our sake, cool. Go take Ryan Bacher. I don't care. But, like, I don't know. I'm in a good mood now. Our team's getting Bedard. Some other teams can have fun too now. Like, I'm not going to be a fucking cynic the whole draft time now.
Yeah.
We're picking 4th or some shit.
I feel like when DeBrincat going to St. Louis is kind of like the monkey paw. We got Bedard, but DeBrincat will go to St. Louis now.
I've won, but it's like the ash. It's like the fine print at the bottom.
Yeah. Mhm.
Hawks with the draft lottery. Oh, there's this other trade. Like we're gonna be sitting there on the draft floor and they're gonna announce it. I'm gonna be like, they don't care. Let's go. That sucks.
Nice.
Fuck.
Bedard is a Blackhawk.
Exactly. Oh, it's gonna be so.
It's not gonna happen, but DeBrink in Chicago would be back in Chicago would be cool.
In
It's
2 years it might when he's a UFA.
Mhm.
But like I don't know how much of that bridge got burnt between him and Kyle.
Yeah,
Benson.
I think that's the
So.
big thing. Like, I think there's a bit of a not as big as Taves and Kane, but there was definitely some
Bad blood there.
hard feelings,
Especially with Doc too. There's bad blood. Like
Oh, Doc is not coming back. Like, at all.
no, but I'm just saying like a lot of those former Hawks. There's gonna be
Mhm.
some disdain too. Like Strom, I gotta imagine there's some. Like Kubalik, I don't care.
Yeah, even if he does, like, he just never really put in that.
Simply
like,
play better, and you probably wouldn't have. But you know,
Mhm.
that's a whole other point. Those guys played good and still got cut or traded.
Yeah.
So whatever. Just sucks having to see people call DeBrincat like overrated now and shit. It's like shut up. Matt Tompkins signed with the Lightning. Let's go, Blackhawks legend.
Back up to Vasilevsky now.
And they're gonna get Staylock too. Just a bunch of former Hawks. Let's
That
go.
is my Bill Masterton trophy nominee, Alex Taylor.
Yeah, if only it wasn't like a dick swinging contest of like major life threatening
Yeah,
events.
literally the trauma contest. Like,
Oh, I played hockey through a stroke. It's like, should you have though? Like,
yeah.
Hey, you know, my family was killed this off season, but I still played hockey. Like,
give him a trophy.
You know what? That'll help. Yeah, just give him a trophy. That'll help ease all the pain.
Give him a trophy about a son's master. I don't know. I haven't seen the movie.
I don't know.
By the way, I just saw Ice Spice in Across the Spider-Verse.
Fuck the Blue Jays. Oh, the Blue Jays are going in extra innings. I saw they're leading one.
No!
They gave up a run. Hey, at least they get the extra point. Oh wait, they don't have that.
They get the pity point. Let's go. Imagine if the pity point was in baseball. That shit would be miserable. Oh god. Or like
Oh,
baseball could like end in a tie. Like you know how pissed people would be. No, I want my baseball game to go 18 innings,
baseball,
but I don't want it to be long either.
Yeah, they have the runners at second base. I think they're just starting the top of the 10th. Fuck.
See, part of me likes that role, but also like, yeah, no. I like that
It's kind of
role.
like the 3-on-3 where it's like regular season. I understand you want to get it done and over with, but in the playoffs, it can't be a thing.
Oh, in playoffs, it's a joke. I'm sorry. Like you can't put a dude on second in the playoffs. That's
Oh
ridiculous.
god, no. And the pitch clock, I love the pitch clock. I think you can keep it in for the playoffs, but I also could hear the argument where it's like it's the playoffs, gives a fuck how long they take. Like,
Yeah,
don't have it. Yeah,
100%.
100%.
Whatever though. Baseball's not a real sport anymore. White Sox are mediocre.
I might have to agree with you if the Blue Jays blow this. What do we say? Like the Mets.
Oh yeah, they're playing the Phillies. Fuck, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Gossman had, I think, 9 strikeouts in 6 innings. God,
Oh,
he's
gosh,
so good.
man.
But the offense can't show up for him besides a Brandon Bill home run. Let's go, Brandon.
24. Just like terrible.
I wish the Blue Jays or one of the other teams in their division were in the AL Central because I think I saw. I'm pretty sure I saw the AL Central. Like, I'm pretty sure the 5th place team has as much wins as the 1st place team. I think that I gotta look.
Yeah. No, yeah, the Yankees have more wins than the Twins. I'm looking at it right now.
That's crazy.
Twins have 19 wins, Yankees have 21.
Oh my god, that's.
And then the Royals and White Sox are duking it out for last. Woo! Oh, sorry.
Your
The
Ted
Angels still
Lindsay
suck more.
Award nominees as voted by the players: Eric Carlson, San Jose; McDavid, Edmonton; and David Pastrnak, Boston.
Okay. That pisses me off a little. You're
Which
telling me
Ted Lindsay?
Carlson got it over Kachuk, who like dragged this team to the playoffs? All right,
Yeah, I
whatever.
guess, yeah.
Players don't know shit. That's fine. Sometimes they do. This time they didn't.
I don't know. I think Matt Kachuk's fine right now. He might be.
Oh,
playing
he's
up
fine, but
top
like
of
I
the
also
league.
think he should be a Hart finalist. Like
Mhm.
it should be him and Pasta as the Hart finalist. Like Carlson's gonna get his flowers with the Norris. I think we all.
Oh, he's winning the Norris.
If not, then this is just another one of stat pad Adam Fox. Like, which is fine. Like he's also great, but it's just I don't know. Give it to Haskinen. Fuck it.
Well, no, I guess we could talk about the playoffs now. Now that we've spent an hour talking about the Blackhawks and all that jazz. So games tonight. We got Toronto and Florida, but Maple Leafs are down 3-0. But don't worry, guys. the Leafs players, particularly Mitch Marner, they are pissed off. Did you see Austin Matthews? This is do or die.
And he chose die.
Yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
man.
yeah, I get you're saying stuff, but I really
Dude,
again
they're getting
the
outplayed.
the series isn't over yet, but can you maybe see why we're a little skeptical that the Toronto Maple Leafs, out of all teams, might not come back down from a 3-0 deficit? Like, the game to win was game 3. Because if it's game 3 and it's 2-1, like, it's a different complexion right now. But you're down 3-0 on the road, and you're turning to Joseph Wall. Like, I think turning to Joseph Wall is a good idea. They should have done that in game 3.
Joe Wool! I love Joe Wool. My favorite.
Go, Joe Wall!
Their second best draft pick from the Matthews draft.
What the disrespect to you, of course.
I love that Leafs fans still like hold that one to the chest. And it's just like, well, don't worry, we didn't keep to bring it, so go Korchinski.
Montreal also traded that pick, so like
That's true.
don't feel too bad. And also,
Trickle down effect.
I'm pretty sure Tampa took Libor Hayek like the pick prior, so even the good teams.
Shout out Kenny. Oh
Yeah.
man, his favorite player. I love that Brett Howden's good now. That's my favorite. He's like resurrected in Vegas. It's their next Chandler Stevenson.
Yeah, I was gonna say like they just those kind of third line guys they bring the best out of them.
Oh, that's you know what? I don't really give a fuck about the Leafs series. I want to talk about the Oilers series because this series has literally been blow for blow so far in 3 games. Like,
Yeah, even game 1, like it was a 1-goal game. It was Draisaitl doing everything.
Like Vegas has taken their big punch the first game. Edmonton fucking just unloaded on them game 2, and then Vegas came in.
It almost feels like that's been the entire second round. Like, I think we talk every year. The first round's always the most exciting, but it feels like the second round is kind of lacking that. This like the Maple Leafs Panthers series, like there have been close games, but like it's not. If it'd be different if it was 2-1 either team now, but it's 3-0. It's like whatever.
Also, not trying to be that guy, but oh no, who could have possibly predicted the second round series weren't going to be good? Gee, I definitely didn't get flack for that in the group chat. I definitely did not get flack from that. But yeah, not good. Not good. Like the best series I think is the Seattle series, and even then there's 2 blowouts in that one.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I don't know, man. Like if you obviously if it's your favorite team, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's great. Like if I'm a Panthers fan, I'm probably fucking doing backflips right now. If I'm a Hurricanes fan, I'm like, holy fuck, we're gonna go back to the ECF. Like,
yeah. Now I see why the Rangers fired Gallant, or not fired, but like they just go away.
No, they're just like fucking like. Once again, like this is why I feel like the Leafs should blow it up too. Because like, I'm sorry, everyone in the East fucking just dropped the ball. Boston was gone, Tampa was gone, and the Rangers laid an egg. The Leafs delayed their laying of the egg, and the Devils are laying an egg, pretty big egg right now too. So not gonna let them off the hook either. Like Timo Meier, their amazing deadline acquisition, 2 points, all series or no, all playoff, and also like. Just want to
playoff. Wow, I didn't know
just want to take this point to absolutely dunk on analytics because, like, you know, I'll support him most of the time, but when you're trying to tell me in that first round series that Timo Meier was the best player 5-on-5 in terms of chances, and this guy had 0 points the whole series, I find that very hard to believe. Sorry, I find that very hard to believe. But whatever.
I had to see it for myself. That's crazy.
It's fucking nuts, dude. He sure didn't have a goal last series either. Like, if I'm a Ranger fan, I'm fucking just unbelievably pissed.
Oh, yeah.
Your stars fucking laid an egg. And
our good friend Boomer Connor. Yeah, he's not too
I feel so
interested
bad
in
for
how
Connor.
he should be. Yeah, I do too. Like,
because now he's gonna have to watch some like really tough trades this offseason. But who knows? Maybe they'll get a good one in there. Maybe they'll get Dubois for Lafreniere or some shit. Be nasty.
This is what's gonna happen. Winnipeg's gonna trade for Luke Dubois to Montreal, and then the Rangers are gonna flip Lafreniere to Montreal for Dubois, and Dubois go to the Rangers. It's happening, baby. Let's go.
All the French Canadians going. Also, I want the Hawks to sign Jonathan Drouin. I meant to mention that earlier. Sorry. We found out he was a free agent this year. Would love them to take a flyer on him.
Dude,
but
give him the Domi contract. $3 million for a year.
Honestly, just give him the fucking Domi deal. And I think
And
you
if
take
he's
it.
injured or sucks, whatever.
Who cares? You have the ability to take those risks right now.
Mhm.
But like, so like as of right now, the Dallas series is tied.
Mhm.
I have to imagine the Edmonton series. Let's hope it gets tied tonight, because if they go back to Vegas
From what
down
I
3-1, that's
saw,
tough.
including the first round, whatever game Dallas wins, the Oilers also win. So like game 1, Dallas lost. Or no. Hang on. I saw something. I have to look it up. No.
But like,
Okay, so yeah, Dallas lost game 1 in their series, and then Edmonton lost game 1, and then the Dallas won game 2, and Oilers won game 2, and then Dallas lost game 3, and the Oilers lost game 3, but Dallas won game 4 last night. So, and it was the exact same in the first round with how they, because I think Dallas lost game 1 and 3, but then they won the rest, and same with the Oilers against the Kings. Every game that the Stars win, the Oilers win. Every game that the Star loses, the Oilers lose. So we're keeping up by that. I think the Oilers tied up tonight. I'd be very surprised if they go on 3-1. And if they go on 3-1 and back to Vegas, you are fucked. And that's also another disappointing aspect, because they played their best game of the playoffs, I would say, on game 2. Game 1 is whatever. Like, the Oilers always lose game 1. It was like a 1-goal game, whatever. But the effort they displayed in game 3, despicable. Like, it'd be one thing if they gave a fuck, but like they didn't.
dude, the overtime goal sums it up. It's fucking terrible. Like, no one hits him. Like, he walks through 5 people and then gets the pass. I'm glad that's not my team, dude. I'd be pissed. I would be fucking not happy.
Yeah, I think the Oilers win tonight. What do we think happens with Leafs Panthers? Do you think Panthers close it out?
I think it's gonna be one of those things where like the Leafs hang around. Maybe they get the first goal, but like, I don't know, man. It's one of those where like Florida gets the tie late, or like gets it late in the second and gets a late third period goal.
Here's what I think happens. Toronto gets an early one, 1-0, and Florida ties it. It doesn't matter whether that's the first, second. I think Florida gets like a tie-breaking goal late with like a few minutes left. And then Toronto pushes with the net empty, and then Florida gets an empty net right before the horn sounds, and they win 3-1.
Oh, heartbreaking, but I want to see it. I'm here. Let's go. I'm here for it. Let's make it happen.
Focus has been on the Blackhawks. Let's now shift it back to the Leafs if I lose.
I mean, we have to kind of. It's playoffs. Like, it's not like they're out of the conversation. They play like in 5 minutes. So as I check my invisible watch,
yeah, it's like Patrick. Oh, I need to draw a new battery for this. As he has to break it on his wrist. Yeah.
Draw a new battery. I saw the one. Oh my god! Someone tweeted something today where it was like they basically just like talked about themselves, and I just dropped the SpongeBob meme where it was like he's like searching around the streets for himself.
Yeah, maniac wanted. Yeah.
Oh, I love that meme. It's one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, I wonder who this is for.
But like, I think the Leafs lose tonight. I think the Panthers wrap it up in some heartbreaking fashion. I think the Oilers tied back up tonight. The West series have been pretty good, so I think they're honestly, especially since there weren't that many power plays for Edmonton last game, I think they're going to call a couple. So if they can,
they have to.
Oh, also, Evander Kane, stop being a fucking dumbass.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Like, you're already a piece of shit. Don't do stupid shit.
Literally.
Like trying to murder people and play the xylophone on people's backs and then punch them in the back of the head, you know?
God damn it.
It's like, I want to cheer for the Oilers too, but then, of course, there's that shithead on that team. Like, fuck. Yeah. Can't escape it. That's.
There's always a shithead Kane on the team. It's a shame.
I know.
God damn it.
And then my Blue Jays team has a pitcher who sucks, and then gets his children to spill popcorn on the airplane and not clean it up. Like, I can't escape it.
That guy's a dumbass.
Yeah, that always makes me laugh because like when I see Pop Crave, it's like, oh, Blue Jays pitcher Anthony Bass shared this picture of his wife spilling popcorn. They didn't help clean it up. Like everyone thought people would come to his defense, and everyone just ended up roasting and shitting on him. And on top of that, he's an awful pitcher. Like his ERA.
On top of that, he fucking
Yeah.
sucks. So like, let's just get that out of
like,
the way.
He's just ruining the vibes. What can I say?
Ugh, real.
Okay. Let's wrap this up. Let's get into the Twitter questions. I think we have a couple.
Sweet.
Yeah, a couple. First one, we kind of touched on it a bit earlier. Should the Hawks bring a vet enforcer to protect Bedard?
Yes, I've been on this train before we even got Bedard. Like, I think we need to go get some muscle on the fourth line. And like, we have them. Like, I think Nick brought up a great name on the stream last night or 2 nights ago. Nick
Oh, we
Foligno
were
would be
cooking on
great.
the stream. Like, you could, if you don't want to listen, like, watch the stream. We were just galaxy brain.
Every player that would have a potential contract up. But like, I really think there's a world where like a Lucic or a Foligno could sign here. And like, they don't even play every game. But like, I don't know, man. I just don't need people who have brain problems getting in fights all the time protecting this team. Give it to people who like aren't like don't have those issues and can just like
don't have concussions.
Like, I'm sorry, I love the idea of having Lucic on this team because Lucic will just go sucker punch anyone that comes near Bedard. Like, I don't know, man. And you wouldn't have to pay him too much. Like, you can give him like $2 million for a year, and I feel like he'd take that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's my sense. Do it. I do it 100%. I do it 10 times out of 10.
Maybe you trade him at the trade deadline. You know?
Yeah, I mean, if he gets a couple points, fuck, why not?
Why not? No,
why not?
Lost. I'm killing myself. It's over now.
Oh, it's Jover.
It is so Jover. And then their schedule doesn't get any easier. They play the fucking Braves. Not only do they play the Braves, Strider is starting, and I think Fried's the other starter. Fuck.
Ugh, that's rough.
Yeah. They can get it done. Like, it just of course they're in the fucking AL East. Like,
yeah,
pretty much first or second in every other division, but I think they're fourth. I hate it.
Dude, it's the worst. Like, ugh.
What?
You're in like the mega stack division. Like, it's just it's terrible.
It's like now that when the Blackhawks were sucking and like they were winning those games and like everything else that like the Blue Jays are doing, so they were like 18-9 and now I mean 21. I think they're 21-50 now. Like, not horrible. Like they'll get. I'm not really concerned about them, but it's like as soon as they get Bedard, fuck, they lost last night too. Damn it.
Yeah, Sox are going to lose to the 10-win Royals, and it's not going to bother me one bit. Like, nothing's going to kill my vibe at the moment. Like,
Bitch, don't
kill my vibe.
Rays 29 wins, Orioles 23 wins, Blue Jays 21 wins, Red Sox 21 wins, Yankees 20.
Yeah, that shit ain't fair.
Whatever.
On the bright side, one of those teams has to fall off. Like, by
I think even the Rays got to fall off a little bit. Like, they can't keep that. I think they're gonna have a really good season. So they're probably gonna
29-8 is insane though. Like,
well, that's an absurd record. Like, that's gotta be all time.
Exactly. So hopefully they fall off. Hopefully the Jays don't peak early and just fucking kind of win more than they lose, and then just fucking heat up in August. That's always like
that's
always
really a big thing because even if you fall deep in a hole early on the season, like we saw the 2019 Nationals dig back, the 2021 Braves weren't out like at 500 till like the last month. Like, you can get into the playoffs by the skin of your teeth, but then go on a run like the Phillies did that last year too. Like, I'm not worried about that. It's just stay relatively competitive in that fucking division, and they have been.
You just got to tread water. You just basically got to tread water. And like, honestly, I know it's easier said than done, but like, if you just win the series, like when you play them like on a weekend, like let's say you play the Red Sox 4 games, let's say you split it. That's fine. Like, let's say you play the Yankees and win 2 out of 3. That's great. Like,
that's the problem I had. They got swept by the Red Sox. Not only that, like they played horribly too. Like, it would have been one thing.
It's better to play horrible now, though. That's always the thing.
Yeah. That's why I'm not too worried. They'll get it figured out.
Like, there was a time not even 5 years ago where the Sox had the best April ever and missed the playoffs. So, yeah, I don't really take April baseball too much into account.
Not even May. Like, the Blue Jays.
July is when it really starts for me. Like, honestly, free agency done. Baseball, we go.
That'll be like. It's been half and half for me. Like, in April,
I'll still watch games, but it's just like.
Mm-hmm. But it'll be my main focus once like free agency is over.
Facts.
And even until the playoffs are done or the Blue Jays are done, that's when we'll start looking at the regular season. Whether that's early October this year again or in November, who fucking knows, dude? It's such a long season. I'm not. I ain't fretting. I ain't worried.
Oh yeah, it's so many. There's so much more baseball to be played. It's insane.
Yeah. All right. I think there's another question. Yeah, from Zach. With some players breaking out in the playoffs, who do you think is a good candidate for a breakout next season? I don't know. I don't know if you've heard this guy. He's 17 years old. He hasn't been drafted yet. I know he isn't a mainstream player like these other guys, but I think Connor Bedard could be a guy that gets like 55, 60 points and surprise a few people, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Like there's a couple players who came in late this year. I think that could make some noise. There's players that are come out of junior that I think when you look at like Logan Stankoven when he comes to the league next year, like he could not make noise, but like do what Wyatt Johnson did this year, which I think is very serviceable.
25 goals, I think.
Yeah, like that's maybe not 25 goals, but like 40 points.
2020?
Yeah.
2010, 2015.
I could see it. I don't know, like maybe with the way that like Cartier is playing, like he might get a full look next year because he's looked very good in Seattle. And like he was good in Coachella, so like they know what they have with him and to an extent. I don't know. I mean, I was joking about it earlier. Brett Howden, like his analytics check out, so I don't know. Those would be my choices, and that's just me like barely even thinking about it. Pavel Zak is another good one to like fully break out, but
Next time him too.
Those would be my choices.
Yeah, all I care about is Bedard and the Blackhawks now. Like it's gonna be so much fun talking about the draft, leading up to Nashville, and then actually going there. I'm so fucking excited, dude.
Yes, sir.
Really am. Yes, sir. Another beer. All right. Thank you all for tuning in to the PJ's Cast. Enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy the slate of hockey that's about to be played, whether it's the Panthers and the Maple Leafs or the Oilers and the Golden Knights. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night. Peace out, y'all.